Your will lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. Let's go. Thoughts can keep you down, pushing deep until you drown, or they can keep you up strong, focused on the now. Glass half full, or has it been emptied out? Well, that's all up to you and your mind. Do you doubt anything, everything, not a thing? Make my thoughts work for me, manifest what I need, what I want, what I see. I could be anything, I attract all the things that I see. I believe I'll achieve as I breathe in and out again and again. I don't doubt, I sit and I plan, and I found out that I can execute if I'm driven, if I listen, if I learn all the wisdom. Read some books, something written, watch the best, teach a system I invest. Never hidden, I ain't scared, ain't no chicken, I take dares. I'll be winning, you get back what you're giving. Find the reason that you're living, what you're good at, all your gifts and what you love. Take a risk and find out what you've been missing. Yeah. Your will lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs
All right, welcome to the Party Pals GRC Mafia. Right out of the gate here, we are here to break down barriers, foster collaboration and community, working towards a more secure future for everybody. Definitely a learning and growing environment. If you guys have any questions or resources, or you want to drop your social media and so forth, you're more than welcome to do so. One of the best places to connect with the rest of the community, if I spell it correct, oh, there it goes, is inside of our Discord server, which the links drop in the chat right now. You can go into our Discord server. We have all kinds of different channels. You can drop your social media. You could ask for resources and so forth. Or you guys can also hang out and chat right here during our streams, of course, as well. If you guys have any questions or resources or otherwise, definitely go ahead and drop it. And one of the downsides is you do have to use Discord in order to drop the links directly. We do have a live chat channel for that, though. Now, also, this is our Friday AMA stream here, so I did drop the link already for the stage. If you guys would like to come up, you're more than welcome to do so. You do not have to turn on your video. You could run microphone only if you prefer to, and don't share anything that you don't want to be public. If you happen to do so, reach out to me on Discord or contact@studygrc.org. But how's everybody doing? Welcome to the Party Pal, AB. GRC Mafia. I see Cam popping in, Steph Cluis. But I'm going to go ahead and transition over here real quick. Let's see here. We're not doing any type of paid sponsorship. Instead of what we're doing is just shouting out other creators that are in the space for $0 and so forth. Just awesome things that are out there. One of which is Cyber, which I'll drop the link to here in just a moment. The big thing I love about Cyber is their labs are very integrated into AWS. Plus, they have a bunch of them that are completely $0, and they're still a low-cost option out there as well.
Want to actually learn cloud security, and I mean not just pass the test, but actually learn how to defend and attack real environments? Cyber's one-click labs let you exploit real AWS Lambda functions, escalate IAM privileges, and respond to incidents in live environments. You'll learn how to securely configure cloud resources, create your own custom incident response playbooks, and learn how to pen test cloud infrastructure to find real vulnerabilities before attackers do. Visit cyber.com to join thousands of cloud security practitioners and a growing community, and start your first hands-on lab for free today. Or use coupon code StudyGRC for 10% off our premium memberships. That's cybr.com.
And I see PBOs popping in. Welcome to the Party Pal, Jeffrey, and Space Tacos as well. Drop in Space Tacos GRC Audit Treasure Trove in the chat as well. PBO, I think, wanted to talk about the trust centers portion. One of the only things that I was like, we talked about several different things yesterday. The only thing that I had started to mention is the Chris Brenton course that I was taking from Anti-Siphon. I was just gonna like shout out a couple of the different items. Like, I'm a little over halfway through that now, and like it's just really insightful. So yeah, I think it's a really awesome course. I'm gonna keep my eye out because like Anti-Siphon usually goes through and has their like Black Friday where you can pay like a lump sum and get like an all access pass to all of their content and to all the on demand that they have. What is this, AB? I really need to learn a second language. That's what I need to do. I'm honestly jealous of people who can speak and write in more than one language. Like that is such an advantage. Like just from a world point of view, like it really opens up doors to be able to talk to other people and so forth. With all of your traveling, Space Tacos, do you speak other languages too? Like Space Tacos has mentioned that she's, I mean, kind of traveled the world at this point. At least a little German. Interesting. And then let me pull this up too. This music might be a little loud off the bat. Let me know if it's too high or too low there. Bam. Looks like Steph Cluis also knows Spanish. I do not know any secondary language at whatsoever. But let me pull this other thing up here. So this is the course that I was talking about yesterday, and the actual course itself on demand is $575. Anti-Siphon has a ton of their pay forward what you can is what they ended up rebranding it to, which is a lot more low cost, where it's like $0 or $25 minimums and so forth, way more affordable. Which is what it seems like a lot of the different courses go through, but then their on demand turns to, you know, several $100s or $575 and so forth for many of the courses. But this is also what I was mentioning. Let me see if I can find the other link for it, because I had dropped it in a different chat here for me to keep record of it. Because they do a Black Friday deal every single year as well. And so you can pay like $1,500 and get full access pass to everything that they have. I truly do believe that they have a extremely good training. And I would definitely say that these on demand are more directed towards companies, not individuals. And my understanding, I'll drop this in chat, but my understanding is the Black Friday 2024 from last year is still active. So you could still go through and claim this deal if you wanted to. And then you get the certificates, you get access to Meta CTF, and all of their on-demand. So, like their on-demand courses, I don't know how many there are, but there's got to be like probably close to 50. So, quite a few of them. But I just wanted to shout out this course in particular. security, compliance, and leadership with Chris Brenton. One of the there's just been some really awesome topics that he's discussed. I think his content has been amazing in the first place. Evan Brock of Barebones had reminded me about how it was Chris Brenton who did the packet decoding course that they also have, which I took before through the Pay What You Can program that they had. And like one of the different sections in here, he talks about the separation of duties on, the audit team, the security team, the IT team, and the structures of organizations. And the way that he explains things, he does it very, very well. And then he doesn't just say, oh, this is how it should be done. He explains why it should be done. And also the struggles, especially for small businesses. He's worked for venture capitalists before, and funding small businesses and so forth. And he also goes through and talks about how in a small organization you can try to implement this. Even if you only have 2 people, you could still separate out these roles and titles. Let me pull PBO up here. Welcome to the party, pal, PBO.
Happy Friday. How you doing?
Welcome to the party. Awesome. I think it's 50 degrees out. Beautiful time to go for a run.
It's 85 here, but it's supposed to be cooling down.
PBO says, you've said before that you go on walks all the time, right? And then take an Uber?
So, sometimes, yep. Get my walk on. Less Uber, but I did some walk on, mess my ankle up, just got an Uber back home.
Yeah, and so I dropped that link in chat for that Black Friday thing. That's still a good chunk of change, but I think it's a pretty good deal if you had that burning a hole in your pocket. Let me just double check chat here. Yeah, and then here's Steph. Welcome to the party, pal.
Hello.
Shout out to boss Steph. I did a little work for her yesterday. Shout out to the boss. She was gracious enough to let me post it in Discord. So I thought I think you should give your worldwide rights up to your company to them. The worldwide rights for the AI generative. So it was interesting.
Yeah, I'm reading through the sorry, my brain's not working. I'm still getting over a cold. Their data retention policy, because they do have all their stuff in that platform, and they just gave me access to everything, which I was kind of surprised, because most vendors will make you sign an NDA first, and they're just like, nope, here you go. And I was like, okay. Well.
I don't know. I see that more and more now. I don't know if it's partially redacted, but I see that more and more now.
It is not redacted. I read their whole SOC 2.
Okay. I posted their SOC 3. So.
Yeah. And that's the public facing one, but I just emailed their customer support with questions, and I think I annoyed them to the point that they were like, here you go.
Yeah.
Because I kept asking them these questions, and they're like, this is all in our this, and here you go. And they didn't even make me, and I would have to pass it on and have someone else sign the NDA, but they didn't even require an NDA, which I was just kind of surprised about.
And that's this third party, right?
Yeah.
That you guys were talking about.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, the retention too. They had a statement I posted in there.
Yeah, that's in their privacy. I took that statement and went to their customer support and was like, what is your retention policy specifically? And they were like, it's in our trust center. You can read the whole thing here. So I haven't read it yet, which I need to before 1 o'clock today. But
did you see the other one in there that really jumped out to me was, if they get you breached, you have no recourse. That was a little.
Yeah, I have to look at our cyber insurance, because I think we do have third party like some third party, because we like use all cloud vendors, and so I'm pretty sure that we have some coverage for ourselves for if a third party cloud.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
but you shouldn't use yours. It's like
I
your
know.
insurance and somebody runs their car into it. You should have to use. But no, we're the same way. The big company I work for, I think we had 50 million. But we always say, well, if you get us hacked, we shouldn't have to use our insurance. So, Steph, you're making me dizzy.
Sorry, I had to put
Go ahead, Chris.
on my couch. I had to put my computer up on something.
I hope you feel
I
better.
was looking
Go ahead,
over
Chris.
PBO's comments on that, which PBO posted in the GRC discussions channel in the Discord server, with like the highlights that popped out to him. And like my big no-go is that the section where they're like, oh, we don't train on any of the data, and then later on they say that they do. That's when I'm like, no. Like,
so it's contradictory, but because they have a separate AI disclosure, that AI disclosure like policy takes precedent over their like main one. But it's just so confusing, and like I'm not a legal expert, and I'm not like
y'all got legal on staff. The smaller companies I work with, they outsource it.
Yeah, we outsource.
So they like what I do. I kind of do a little paralegal work before I send it to them, so they can kind of have a lot of the high points before they go over it themselves. That was the big one to me.
I probably wouldn't even be like digging this far into it if it wasn't that my boss is like he's 1 week into a 5-week sabbatical, and we got this request from a customer, and so like I feel like I'm having to put together like my thoughts and recommendations, because I'm basically going to go to like our president today and be like, what do you want to do? Because you're the one that's accepting the risk. Like you're the, like, what do you think? And so I'm just like not a decision. Like that's not my job to make decisions. So
yeah, you gather the evidence and
facts
and present.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was pointing out. A lot of stuff I pointed out really was business risk. These are do y'all want to accept these? Or a lot of times, when I work for the Fortune 500 company, I used to tell them, you got to carve those out before we sign a contract.
I know. Well, the hard part is like this isn't a vendor that we're signing a contract with. It's a customer that's like, we want to use this product to review your security stuff. And this is like the whole reason why I'm wanting to have a trust center is so I can go back and be like, sorry, you can just go get this from our, and so we're at the point I'm at right now is like, they have a short questionnaire in there that I'm like, okay, we could fill out the questionnaire and then I'll just send you the documents. I'm not sending you the SOC report in this platform, but it's ultimately not my decision. So I'm gonna.
That makes perfect sense.
I believe you talked about a trust center before. Weren't you guys vetting that
a
while back?
I'm just we call them rocks. It's like a long-term, a quarterly goal. And so by the end of our quarter ends not at the beginning of October, but at the middle of October. So by mid-October, I'm planning on having our trust center launched. It's just, how I have to get with marketing to like make sure branding's on point and that all the wording is good. And then I need to I have to finish setting everything up. I have to demo all of it to the leadership team so that they can give me feedback and make sure that the customer flow works. Marketing has to get out like a message to customers being like, now you can go to our trust center, and all that. So it's not as simple as just being like, I mean, it's basically ready. But it's not, because it has to jump through the hoops of, approval from different departments. And I'm like training. I need to like do a training for the rest of the staff on like the new like workflow. And so like in another month, I'd say about in a month, we should be launching it. So I'm like really excited because I've had an increase in, we don't have all customers sign NDAs unless they're like an enterprise customer and they actually have like their own master service agreement. Otherwise, as a SaaS company, we just have like a terms of service for more basic users that are just like common subscription type of thing. And they don't have to sign an NDA. And so before, the workflow was like giving them redacted copies of a lot of our security materials. But with the SEC rules, like there's like a big increase in people wanting the full SOC report. And so I'm excited. It's really going to cut down on like me being a middleman of being like, okay, you want to sign an NDA, you give me the info, I put it into Dropbox Sign, then I send it to them, and then they sign it, and our CISO or the president signs it, and then it comes back to me, and then I can share it with them. So it's just gonna be like, yeah, you don't have to.
The other part I didn't like in there is, I don't know if it's different, they can change them anytime they want. The document side, the trust center.
One of the things I didn't realize is you have to pay extra for that SOC 3, is my understanding, which is the like more redacted version.
Anytime you're dealing with an accounting firm, it's billable hours, young man. There's nothing free.
Any other and any additional report. So you've got SOC 1, SOC 2, SOC 3. SOC 3 is a redacted public facing report, and you do pay extra for it. It's just easier for us if we were to do a redacted. We do a redacted version, but we just share the summary.
Facts. Yeah. My only thing I couldn't find from the big company was, usually I could find a high level security architectural diagram.
It's in their trust center.
Trust center, yeah. Usually I could find it on the net, where I didn't find anything. Especially with me being an AWS, I kind of like to see the architecture. Usually I have some security questions off the architecture. I was surprised I couldn't.
Yeah, they have. I haven't looked at it because I didn't see there was like a drop down with like a lot. They have a lot. They share all their policies, which also kind of surprises me. But they do have like a data flow diagram and their architecture and everything, which I mean, even with NDAs, like we don't share a data flow diagram, like a full copy of data flow. Like we don't share our full technology and security operations policy ever, unless we do a live call with somebody to view it, because it has everything in it.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
It got leaked, like, you know, NDA or not, like you don't want that out there that can just like.
I see people do high level ones. I used to be like that. I'm just kind of, because if you're an AWS and you ISO or you fit, so it forces you to do a certain architecture. So I think at a high level, I think people just start doing.
Yeah, don't forget about that video from Snowflake. You know, they had that compromise, and then PBO found that video where like the VP of engineering or whatever else did an entire webinar of their entire infrastructure.
I can find something. So yeah. But stuff I put in the Discord, like all the high level stuff. The two big things were the breach, because before that we talked about uncapped, capped, and no cap. You don't get any money if they read it. It sounds like you don't get any money. So I would try to carve that out. But like you said, most people have cyber insurance. But if you run into me, I don't want to use my insurance. So I'll push back on that. And the worldwide giving your rights away for the AI generative, because JC saw that too inside the Discord. Yeah. Those were kind of the two big. Everything else was kind of like knick-knack, ticky-tack stuff, kind of business.
Yeah, I don't mind the others. Like their security posture isn't bad, like terrible. No, like I reviewed their SOC report and I don't have any major concerns. I'm mostly just I just worry about AI. I'm overly skeptical about putting in proprietary data into anybody's AI system. I don't care what you say about not training or that, you know, that it's deleted or this, and I just don't.
No, I don't either. The thing I did, and I did start off with it, they had a lot of good stuff. They had the SOC 2 Type 2. They were ISO. They had some NIST stuff in there. So they had all the big stuff in there already.
They have BCP, disaster recovery. I mean, they have comprehensive policies. They have incident response. Like like I said, I looked at their full SOC 2, and there's no like exceptions.
So and a lot of times, even though I'm not ISO, if you're ISO and PC, you got to have all that. And when you do your annual review for your SOC 2 Type 2, they're going to look at all your policies and procedures. The third-party session is going to validate all of that. So I was like, oh, we good. So for that,
I pulled up Canvas Trust Center here because I think they did a really good job on theirs to also give everybody, you know, a view at one. They list out like different partners of theirs that they work with, that they're trusted by. They got all of their compliance, you know.
There's a safe base.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is the one. This is what we're using for our trust center.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
template is the same for everyone.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I think they did a really good job. And then you have to, of course, go through and, request access to, their more sensitive stuff.
I wouldn't even request access to that, to be honest. Just looking at it. The reason
Well,
why
yeah.
is if you got a SOC 2 type 2, they're gonna do your basic security overview on that. If you ISO, your third party is gonna do that. So unless you small, if you're a big company, I always call that bread and butter. Let's get down to the brass tack. What's your encryption? What keys are you using? And two is, like I said, most of the stuff I was looking for was just business risk after that.
Yeah, I do like looking at a full SOC too, because if they did have exceptions for that year that are holes in their security that the auditor is calling out, then you're going to be able to see that in the SOC 2.
Yeah.
Something else I've heard is people getting a SOC 2 just for like their data protection or scope down.
Yeah, you got to check.
You can scope it however you want to.
Yeah, that's my only issue with SOC 2 Type 2. And me and Cyber Stoic used to talk about that a little bit. That's my only issue. You got to see what the scope is. And a lot of times, too, even if there are holes in it, they should have compensating controls listed for those particular holes for the SOC 2. And that's what we're talking about. Do I agree how they fix those holes, right? So that's kind of some of the nuances. Is it as secure as it's supposed to be? That sounds like a Japanese company, man.
Yeah, this is their SOC 3.
Yeah, I was gonna block it. Deny. I didn't like
it.
Yeah, I'm blocking it. No, that's SOC 3.
22 pages. That's not bad.
That's normal for a SOC 3, because, like she said, it's roll up.
Yeah, it's mega.
Kind of summary of it.
Well, and something else. So I was doing more research into the trust centers, and something else I hadn't realized is that it's expensive.
Yes,
it's a good chunk of change for.
Yeah, I'm not trying to put Steph Business out there. I actually went to AWS, and a lot of times they do a review of their stuff that goes in their marketplace. The price came up. I was like, ooh, that price kind of hurt me. I was like, Steph got the big money. I was like, ooh. I was like, that was a little pricey.
We don't. My department doesn't ask for a lot. And we also just acquired another company that we're going to put like in they like, once you have it, adding products to it is like much smaller of a cost. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I will also say that like the ones I looked at, Conveyor is the most affordable, where you can really do tiered for like they have ones as low as like, I think $7,000 or something. And it's very like tiered for your needs. I just didn't really like the workflow, and it's kind of clunky. And when I request things from companies that use Conveyor, I'm always like, oh, they don't let you bulk download. Like, what the heck?
No, Chris, that's what
Santa is like really expensive.
Oh yeah, that's the Cadillac.
Safebase is still kind of in the middle, even though Drata bought them, and their prices have definitely increased since Drata.
So in Steph's bit, that's what I was hoping to see, something like this at a high level. They didn't have it. No. So I was surprised. And like you said, I'm kind of with Steph. Sometimes that's too much information out there, but I see it that's more and more, especially from an AWS standpoint. That could be Azure. I don't know.
Well, and so like I think this is a little bit better because like they're not naming exactly what services.
Nope. You definitely don't want to disclose all of your services in a publicly.
Yeah, like what products you're using from AWS or whatever.
Attack us.
Yeah, I was looking for something like this. You know, you got your public facing, you got your VPC, you got your routes. Like you said, high level, they don't name the database. Application cache. So just some high level like this.
Yeah.
I don't like that because I think they're going over the internet to get to their databases, but that's a whole different conversation. Oh, no, maybe it's in a private VPC.
Yeah.
I'll take that back.
Yeah, I was
you're
gonna
right.
say.
No, I like it better.
Yeah, and then it looks, and then they have the internet and
over here,
third-party databases and so forth on this.
So that's cool. They keep all their stuff inside their VPC there. So no, just I wanted to see something like that at first.
And this is an example of a massive enterprise like Canva. So yeah.
Facts, but most people trust center, they coming up in the world. Like Steph said, they're not emailing a ton of documents around. That's usually what I see from small companies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then
Not
they
like-
do list out the software that they do use, and they're listing out, you know, EC2 and
Yeah, but EC2
These
could be
Amazon
Windows
services.
OS. It could be EC2 could be, to put the versions. But no, that's stuff I would like to see. Containers, so you rules in Docker or Kubernetes.
RDS and MongoDB.
Like that DynamoDB. So yeah, that's the stuff. Like Steph said, that could be too much information. I could go to work on your network if I wanted to with that. But PBO is blue team, not red team. But
Yeah, and then they list out all of their services, third parties here too. OpenAI and
that's the other thing. When looking
Brave.
at Bit, they said if they put a third party URL in there, they're not responsible for it if it gets you hacked. I'm like, yeah.
yeah, and like you said, like that seems like standard language. But then I'm curious, like if you are one of their big customers, would they, of course, carve that stuff out for you?
We would carve
But
it out.
I don't know.
We would carve it out. When I worked for the big dogs, we would carve that out.
Oh, it looks like they use password for password management.
Yeah, they getting a little detail with that.
Yeah.
Datadog,
1Password.
they started naming Workday, Okta, so you know what their what the
This is
MFA
with their
is.
SOC 3.
Their privilege. Shout out to Guard Duty, AWS. So it's definitely AWS shop. Sentinel One. Well, Sentinel One
Wiz.
is Microsoft, huh?
Was it Google that picked up Wiz?
It might be now.
I think Google bought Wiz
Yeah,
out.
I think Google did buy Wiz like a couple years ago.
They got a
Yeah.
lot. Well, they're a big company, so they probably multi-cloud depending on what you need. Like the big companies, you can get a AWS tenant, or you can get Azure tenant, or you can get a Google tenant. So they usually cover all the big vendors because they want all the money.
Yeah, and then they have their organizational structure here too. That's neat. See, legal and risk is combined here.
I see that a lot because when I work for the big company, privacy VP's a lot of times a lawyer when I do it because they do with GDPR and all that. A lot of times that goes under legal. When I work for a big company, HIPAA. They actually had a special HIPAA lawyer I used to work with. I'm trying to interview her on my channel.
So one of the other things I was looking at when I was looking more into the trust centers is there's some organizations that I noticed that literally just use like a Notion page to supply their documents, and then they'll just invite like their customers or otherwise to it. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
That's horrible. But
Yeah.
that's to be blunt. That's horrible. But I've seen. I mean, it depends on the maturity level you're coming. Like I see Notion pages. I seen you log in and they had all this stuff in a SharePoint folder. They invite your email in there. You can download it from there. So it just depends on.
I mean, one of the big reasons I don't use Notion anymore is because of their privacy practices. Because they don't have any really. They refuse to do anything with end-to-end. They don't really. They only use encryption at rest, and they have access to your workspace. So like, I wouldn't save anything sensitive whatsoever inside of Notion personally. I was just surprised to find that like, yeah. I could see why, like, especially a smaller organization would do so, because I was looking at pricing of like $7,000 or more minimum for a trust center. But also that pricing is coming in because it's sensitive information, and they have the infrastructure. Well, they should have the infrastructure to protect it, to limit access and request access and so forth.
Yeah, I think once again, Steph brought up a good point. My issue, it just came here is if you can change them anytime you want, why the hell am I reviewing them? But that's me, get off my line sometimes. So for me, go ahead, Steph. She's got the finger up.
Well, it should be set up so that when you upload new documents, if you subscribe to the Trust Center, it'll notify you that new things have been added.
But that's one of my issues. With you 100% right. A lot of times they version it so you know which one. But if you can change it anytime, I mean, you can change it to where I put in there. It could negatively affect what I reviewed. Oh, we're using FIPS 140. Your next document be like, yeah, we ain't doing encryption at rest anymore. That's
Yeah,
a
but I mean, then is it
that's a
any
big
different
reach.
than anything else? Because I mean, if you're sending it to someone and
No,
like
yeah.
using secure document share and you're just sending documents, nothing's stopping you from like revising a
No,
document.
how we did it at the big company is you have a version number in your MSA. We point to all the version numbers. We want to say this is what we agreed to at the time legally,
Interesting.
right? But then a lot of big companies go pound saying we ain't doing that. But no, that's how we did it. One of my legal guys, he said we need to memorialize it. I hate that term. So whatever version it was, what we agreed to of our review, this is what. Now when you come out with a new version, we both need to agree that we accept that.
Interesting.
So once again, I only seen that with the big dollars that's spending a
Yeah.
lot of money. Right.
That has not come up yet. With we deal with some pretty large companies, but
I think most people don't ask for it. I just started working with a mature
No,
company and they started asking for it. So
they ask for it because they have to, because the SEC says that you have to be reviewing your third-party vendors.
yeah, but once
And so
again,
does what is it?
everybody, NIST say 153, you got to, or you got to
FINRA.
review.
FINRA.
Yeah, FISMA, FINRA, yeah, all of them. But
Yeah,
like
I mean,
some
they're
of the
supposed to, even if they're just checking a box, which a lot of them are.
yeah, 100%. But once again, I think with the trust center, you can do that. But then if they change it, it's like you got a year to review it. Most of the time, they don't say, or if it's a subject, most of the time it's annual review.
Mhm.
But once again, that's super technical.
Mhm.
Most people don't need that level. I just like to bring it up so everybody understands what we signed for and how this really gonna work. If something happens and we didn't like it, go ahead, Chris. You keep trying to get in there.
Yeah, one of the things I noticed is like with the big boy platforms too is if you add on their trust centers, then it will automatically update based on whatever you do inside of their platform. So it'll auto update the documents and so forth on the trust center end. And it's
others
huh?
don't. I have to
Yeah.
upload everything manually.
Yeah.
You can do
you're
that with
paying for that.
Vanta. Like Vanta does that with their AI.
I was trying not to say names.
Well, there's
Oh,
only
you're
one.
fine. You're
Okay,
fine.
so
I
there's
just
like one vendor that does that.
That's
no, I understand. Yeah, there's a couple of the big ones, such as that one that does it. So which kind of goes along with what you guys were saying on
That
it
one's the
just
only one that I
randomly.
know of that does like real-time monitoring too.
Yeah.
Unless you go to the one that I adopted, which has been acquired by a larger third-party risk company that then also has those tools that if you want to integrate and do like automated reviews of your instance, then you can. But
from the company side, if the information's already restricted to trusted parties, wouldn't it be an advantage for it to auto update though?
I don't know. I guess it's just like, so for us, we have like a working document and then we publish when like we're like these changes have been made and reviewed and approved, and then we publish a new version of it. So I would rather have control over that PDF and not have it be some living document that's being shared with people. I don't know. It's not that much. It's not that big of a deal to update documents as they come in, like
yeah,
what happens. Like you have to update your annual pen tests because you got new pen tests. You update your new SOC report because your new SOC report came out.
Yeah,
or your insurance certificate or like whatever else. Those policy documents, I mean, I guess it would be nicer if it auto updated in like the knowledge base, which is the other side that I really like about trust centers, is that you typically get a knowledge base with it, which for me, answering questions from customers, it makes it so much easier because I was trying to consolidate my own knowledge base and it gets super messy and it's very difficult to search. So it's nice to have something where everything is there and you can search for like, oh, I can't remember what the RTO or RPO is because my brain isn't working. You're going to search for it and I'll tell you what it is.
Well, and like one of the other services I was looking at is Intercom's really popular, and they have a back-end knowledge base itself. But they seem really common, but I'm not sure, like they're definitely not like for a trust center, but yeah.
A Fin AI agent. Any support help desk. Oh, it's like an AI that works with help desk. Is that what you're talking about? Intercom?
Oh, Intercom. Yeah. So Intercom is, it's more for help desk. And so like on a lot of websites, you'll see the little chat help desk
it's like a chat bot.
Correct. And then you could turn the AI off and have it auto route to your team members. You can have a public facing knowledge base like help center for your customers. And then they have an internal knowledge base itself where you could put all of your like company policies and documentation procedures in there as well. From a customer service standpoint, it not only does it seem really popular, but also it just seems very effective, especially for those medium-sized businesses. I'll
give you're just doing emails and chat support.
Correct. Yeah. And especially if you have like even a small team, like it seems to work really, really well. I was more so like looking at it from like the knowledge base standpoint. And then they have like their AI future, which like their AI future, what they do is they charge you 99 cents per resolution that the AI chatbot does. So you don't get charged if the AI bot doesn't actually help the customer.
Yeah. Interesting.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like a great service for the help desk aspect, but I also found it interesting for the internal database or knowledge base there.
Yeah, like you said, third party.
Yeah.
And then Josh says many third-party risk management SaaS apps, Coverbase, tie into these trust centers via API, so they generate new risk profiles, assessments for you automatically as new data gets updated. Cost money to implement. Yeah, that's what I've seen is a lot of these big boys, they have it set up to where you can have it auto update, but I haven't looked too deep into it.
I need to dig in there because AWS, their internal teams start doing it for vendors that are in their marketplace. So they do a questionnaire for them. They do focus questionnaires because they're trying to shortcut, like Steph said. She get all these companies asking the same question. So AWS is like, well, here's our basic questions. Here's our thing. So this should answer 95 or 98% of your questionnaire. So they're kind of doing that. And I'm going to talk about that in the video, kind of how AWS is doing that in their marketplace. They're doing a third-party risk assessment stuff, kind of for you.
Yeah, my frustration is that they ask the same question, but in a different way. And then it makes it more complicated to answer because it's hard to, you don't have the exact wording. And so then you can't find the answer to the question because they don't ask it the same way as the last person asked it, even though the answer is the same.
And they talked a
At
little
least
bit.
have a knowledge base is consolidated that I can at least search for keywords in.
That's kind of what AWS was talking about, trying to be the middleman for that. Like ask them in different ways. They have a dedicated security teams that ask a lot of those basic upfront questions. Then too, if it's a federal client, they have different questions. So it's interesting kind of how they're trying to be the middleman for that.
Yeah, that's one of the things, like, it kind of surprises me that there's not like some type of standardization for the questionnaires yet.
Well, they try. I mean, we do the SIG, but we're like moving away from it because it's so hit or miss where it's like, oh, standard information gatherer. This makes it so that you can like send it out and get the same back, or you can fill it out and send it to people. But then you send it to people and they're like, no, fill out this question.
Yeah. Well,
we
exactly.
were like that.
It's It's just
And I've heard of questionnaires of like 500 questions before. Like,
easily.
that's
We had
insane.
one last year. There's 800 questions. It was literally a full SIG. It was like a full SIG. So we do SIG light, just like 100 questions, versus the full SIG is like 800. Oh man, it was very time consuming and very in depth. Another thing that is nice about the trust centers is you typically do get X amount of like AI questionnaire that will pull from your own documentation to answer questionnaires, and you definitely have to review it because it doesn't answer everything correctly, but at least it like inputs like 80% of the answers, and you can just go in and change it and approve it. It like the last one that was over 100 questions for me, it definitely cut down on like the amount of time I was spending on filling out a questionnaire.
Yeah, and then Josh, 90% of DDQ are totally ineffective.
Yeah.
I tell you what we used to do that pissed clients off was when I worked for the state tax vendors. We would send them the STIGs and tell them they had to fill out the questionnaire for the STIGs. They would be mad as hell. They're like, "You want to get Indiana tax revenue? You got to fill out this." And we sent them the STIG sheets. And I was surprised all the big guys filled them out. But I learned a lot about infrastructure going through those. But yeah. So.
And the SIG isn't cheap either.
No. Oh, no. No.
Not
You're
at
gonna
all.
spend some money. You're gonna spend.
Like it's you could just spend the money on the trust center instead. Like it's like really like, that expensive that you'd be like,
So.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just surprised at how expensive it is for the trust centers.
They're expensive.
Like that's a significant purchase for the small and medium businesses.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's why that's why it's been as long as it has been for us, because it just we couldn't justify it up until now, where we have like enough bulk and it is like more professional and streamlined, honestly, than like having them contact support or their CRM and then they contact us and then we respond, and the back and forth is
people used to hate me. People used to hate me. I'd be like drilling them down. So people used to hate me. But
yeah, Thunder Punch PBO over here. It just surprises me that there's not I could not find a cheaper service out there, because like the fundamental part of a trust center seems pretty straightforward, to where, oh, you secure these documents, you have like a page for that you host them all on, and then you have to, have a process implemented for people to request access to sensitive documents that you select.
And the NDA signing, and they have integrations with CRMs. It seems it's a little more complex on the back end. And I think because most of these companies need to be SOC 2 themselves, and that's not cheap either, that they have to be able to make their money back. So you pay for the security is what you're paying for.
Yeah.
And the additional features, because it usually just isn't. I would say there's one solution that's like, and there are some free solutions, but those probably aren't the most secure solutions out there.
I think that's a good mention, that you're paying for their security as well.
Yeah, the cheapest one that I found, is like $7,000. But I didn't like the functionality wasn't as good. So
But that's the pricing that I saw, is when you add it on to some of these larger products, you're looking at like $7,000 for the very bare basics, and then
that's the basics.
Yeah, and then it quickly goes up from there, because like I was seeing pricing of like $30,000-$40,000.
Yeah, for like an enterprise level plan.
Yeah.
The mid range, the pro plans typically are between $15,000 and $20,000.
I mean, one thing that I was surprised at is at least it wasn't a contact us for pricing on. Like, I was surprised I was able to find a lot of that information. So
yeah,
people get a little better now,
and
you can still get a discount, but
that's what. Yeah, usually you can negotiate a discount within your first year, or if you sign a multi-year deal.
The sticker price, or if you catch them at the end of the quarter and they try to make their numbers.
If you can, they will usually make you a deal if you can pull the trigger before the end of the quarter, and then even if you don't, usually you can talk them.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. especially if you can introduce them to other clients. Like,
You're gonna add on later, do something.
yeah, right. You can always, and sometimes there are hefty discounts too. I was surprised when I seen some of the back end discounts. Shout out to our SOC 2 guru joining us today.
Getting all the discounts out there.
Shout out to the discounts.
I'll give you discounts.
But
I got a club card.
Yeah, so two is one reason I asked Steph is I kind of wanted, and Chris mentioned it, I put the link in kind of what I found in the document so people can kind of see the process. That was my quick and dirty version. You know, that probably took me about an hour. I was watching movies and reading that documentation for stuff, but just some of the stuff from a risk perspective I pulled out. Like I said, I was hoping I could get a high-level diagram like Canva had so I could do some security architecture as part of GRC, that part. So, but no, I thought it was.
I'm a big fan of the shared responsibility matrix, just so you can quickly do a parse through and say, oh yeah, that's exactly. Thank God we don't have to conform to that because AWS is doing it or whatever. But I haven't had to play too many trust centers. However, you know, they have all those automations that will, like Stephanie brought up, and everybody that they can call on real quick and do all the checking for them. But you know, what if they don't update their own trust center, right?
Facts. They usually have, but usually they try
It's
to.
pretty obvious when you look at their documents. If they're like, you can be like, where is your current, like, you haven't updated this since last year. Where are your current pen tests, or where's your current SOC report? Do you have a bridge letter, or like whatever?
Yeah.
Why is
it's
this
like
2
Chris
years
pulling
old?
up Discord the other day, right? And that document was, that one that you pulled up was a few years old, right? Or a year and a half or
so
something.
I was really surprised when I was going through the Discord documentation and like they link out to their transparency report, which they on their last transparency report, which was for the first half of 24, they state that they were changing the time period to every 6 months rather than every quarter, and they haven't published anything since the first quarter of 24 now. So they're technically 2 releases behind on their transparency report, which what that lists out is all of the accounts that they've blocked, any type of court orders they've received, how many accounts and servers they blocked and for what reasons and purposes.
Maybe they can't keep up with all the
That's what I was thinking. Sometimes you sign up for stuff and you don't have the staff to do it.
Well,
like
no,
Steph
I
said-
meant like with all the legalese going on behind closed doors. I mean, Discord on the news sounds like it's an underground forum, like 4chan or something. But by the way they tell it, I'm like, dude, all I do is talk about video games. Calm down. GRC, bro.
I mean, I've used Discord for many, many years and so forth, and I would say that it's more of the direction that they're headed because they had that head honcho from Blizzard take over as CEO recently. And so they're less concerned about dropping the money into transparency. They're more concerned about pushing these futures that they have been. Like they pushed tons of futures since this guy took over for revenue generating stuff. Whereas they're like, oh no, we're trying to save money, not spend money on a team to do transparency reports. That would be my opinion.
Yeah, but then we talked about. I always say that is GRC and risk. That's a cost center, man. So a lot of times, if you don't have federal requirements, most people kind of don't invest in it. I think properly, I guess, would be the term for that. Now I do federal clients, so they're like, yeah, the 3PL days gonna come see us. We better make sure we're good, right? When that 3PL come see you every year, because if you don't pass it, you don't get an ATL to do that type of work anymore. So you got to take it a little more seriously from that perspective.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of their priorities. And I mean, I would not be surprised that if people started emailing them asking like, what the hell, then eventually they might do something about it. But
I would. I mean, it just depends. Transparency. If I was reviewing, I wouldn't care. Because for me, that's not high on my list. So I'm not worried about it. That's more shit I gotta look at. So, but I don't know, man. That's PBO. So I kind of pick the things I think are most important. But
and I was also thinking about that too, because like I was like, that really kind of bothers me that they've decided to slack on that aspect. And one of the other things I was thinking is like, it's also a data disclosure there to the public. And from a business standpoint, I could see them not wanting to do that anymore because look at like the like Mark Zuckerberg going into court around, children's safety on Facebook, for an example, and the stuff going on with TikTok and all of these other platforms. And so then Discord's like, nah, I think we'll go ahead and just not, publish this stuff out unless we have to.
Yeah,
So that
Yeah,
could
it
be
could
another
be
side
that.
of it.
It could be that they're saying, hey, let's not give any ammunition anywhere. Pardon the phrase, but the point being that let's not because somebody could tear that apart and say, oh wait, you shut this down, but it came back up. Is it all because of the money or blah blah blah?
Because there's this thing inside. It's called spillage. So sometimes we have spillage, and we look. If nobody got to the spillage, you didn't have to report. My boss was at NSA. He wanted to report to the Department of Homeland Security. Me being me, it's like, why are we snitching on ourselves, big boss? If we don't have to, he said, we want to be transparent. So I'm like, no, we don't. Not when it's against us.
Well, that's a great. I had that question for you, PBO, since you brought it up. Spillage.
Yeah.
What is that? Just another way of saying breach, or is that literally just something got out there that wasn't supposed to? Just keep it like that.
No, spillage from a federal responsible is IRS data ended up on another internal systems like Teams. We didn't do a risk assessment for Teams. It's not classified to have that type of data. So that's actually spillage. It's in the system. But what we would do, because we can look in the logs, nobody looked at it, so we ain't reporting on ourselves because it never got breached. My boss wanted to show spillage. I'm like, we shouldn't be snitching on ourselves, big boss. so
Yeah, so like this is the last one from the first half of 24, and they state right above that they're going to start doing this every 6 months instead, so they're now 2 behind. But yeah, I could clearly see, like I could definitely see it from that lens on like them choosing not to disclose it just because of that. Because like child safety is at the top. So the first half of 24, over 200,000 accounts were deactivated for child safety alone.
Wow.
And I would not be surprised if these numbers went up since. So
see, but that's how you end up on CNN.
Yes.
You're an issue for children. You snitching on yourself. Do not snitch on yourself. But I'm just joking. But yeah, so that's, like I said, I'm going to interview my boss. He's at NSA, so we used to talk about that. I'm like, we should not be snitching. Because if you do it, it's public information. It goes on a website. I'm like, dude, that somebody might see that, come interview your boss and the governor of the state. I'm like, dude, you asking for problems. We got enough problems. So don't ask for problems. So.
Well, I have a client that the big boss says, he's talking to one of his personnel and says, will you please only give them exactly what they're asking for? And he said that on the call with us. I'm like, okay, there we go.
Yeah, and Josh says any unauthorized self-exposure of data is spillage.
And I think, let's let my boss be clear. So if it's on Teams, everybody in our organization is authorized to see it. Nobody else from the outside saw it because we could look at the logs. So that's why we wouldn't report it, because everybody in the organization has security awareness training and the proper clearance to see data. Now we can drill it down. Do they need to know? We can have that conversation later. But once again, we're not snitching on ourselves. So for us, nobody unauthorized saw it. So we can do in logs with that. So I'm gonna be crystal clear on that. Chime in on that, auditor. What's your thought, Painter? On
well, that's what I was asking the question, because we don't use spillage in anything that I've done. And then when I went to the NIST, I was like, oh, spillage. So what reference is this? So
that's usually a government term. I've never seen it in private. Once again, I do mostly fair work. That's usually a federal term. So they really a stickler with that term.
All right, I gotta jump to another meeting, but this has been awesome. Thanks y'all for talking, and have a great weekend.
Have a good weekend.
Thanks for popping in.
Thanks for letting me do that too, Steph. Shout out to you.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Shout out to me then. Shout out to me.
PBO is way too excited about that stuff.
All right, I'll catch you guys later. Bye.
What'd you do, PBO?
Steph was looking at a vendor, and I just asked her, could I review it with her and put some of my issues inside Discord? And she said, of course, if you want to help me. I'm like, I can. But two is, since it was hers, I'm like, do you want to keep it personal, or can I put it in Discord so people can see how I go about things? She's like, no, put it in Discord. We ain't bought it yet. I was like, okay. So no. So I put it in Discord and just kind of, and shout out to Josh EC. He looked at it too, brought up some couple things too. So we was just helping stuff out.
Yeah, and then
that's cool. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and then we're just over an hour here, so we'll start bringing that to an end as well. I would not be surprised if like the transparency page disappears from Discord, to be honest, eventually.
It should. If I was talking to him, I'd be like, take that down. We snitching on ourselves. But I see what you say from Chris, but from the outside, I can see customers. That is a great page. You can kind of see. But a lot of people are not mature enough to read it. Like, oh, they got a lot of problems. I'm like, dude.
I would love for the government to, these are something simple where the government rules it could stifle some of the smaller ones, like you said, but it could also make it could be helpful to me. Like if I'm looking at that and I really care, I just love that they have it available. But if you're not going to post it regularly, like you stated, then take it off. It's the same thing with our clients. When I look at that and I say, wait a second, your policy says that you're going to do this every 6 months.
Facts.
You're doing this every, I don't know, year annually, right? But so do you want to change your policy, or do you want to provide me some more evidence that showed that you actually did it per policy? So it's always funny. People do get behind. We're all human, but
yeah, I could understand from the business side not wanting to do this, but from a consumer side, I think it's a benefit because it goes to show that they're actively doing something about the problems.
They're trying, at the very least, yeah.
If you do
one of the big shout outs here is like right here. What this shows is the amount of counts and disabled for whatever reasons, and then the percentage of appeals. So, like deceptive practices, only 5% of the accounts deactivated actually won an appeal. So there's a lot of really good information in it. But yeah, that's my main issue is the fact that they said that they were going to do it every 6 months and they have chose not to. So yeah.
Could you imagine if this was YouTube's? I mean, the amount of people that get kicked off for something stupid, and then all the appeals. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I appealed. They denied me, so their appeal.
Oh, you did? Oh, that's good.
Yeah, their appeal is rough now. Shout out to YouTube. They didn't like how I was doing my news video, so they demonetized me. Then I talked about 4 other people that got demonetized at the same time. So I appealed, and they were like, "Nope, you can reappeal." And I'm sorry, after 3 months, you can just reapply.
Gotcha.
To get your stats back. So that's my goal in 2026 to get my monetization back.
Well, I'm a rollout too, gentlemen. Okay. I know that you're about to close it up anyways, but it's been fantastic catching up at 3.0 speed. Y'all sound really funny, but it is cool.
Gosh.
At least y'all talk clearly. I did hear a cyber stoic at one time from my boy PBO, but at the same time, I got to do some meetings myself. So y'all have a fantastic rest of your day and have a great weekend.
Yeah, to give you a shout out, man. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks, guys.
You the
GRC Mafia.
Yeah, you the Assessor Smee of the group. We need Assessor here. He does it in real life.
Yeah, and also like PBO was saying a moment ago is that PBO and Josh, and I think there were a couple other people that might have tuned in too in regards to looking at this other third party. Like anybody can go into Discord and drop, hey, what do you guys think about this service? Or this is what I'm trying to do. Get advice and feedback and so forth. Even if you need to, reach out to PBO, in the backstages of the internet.
Oh yeah, Chris can always find me. He's got the number. Sometimes PBO gonna be quite active sometimes, and Chris be like, "Can you look at the Discord?" I'm like, "Yes, I can." But PBO's trying a little bit. But actually, I enjoyed it. When me and Chris did Trello, they had that same verbiage about giving you worldwide rights to your software. So the crazy thing
now
is
we're seeing it everywhere.
Yeah, I think that's the template now. But yeah, if anybody want us to review, and two, I like doing it so younger people can learn. Or shout out to Josh, we were looking at different things and how we view them inside Discord. So two is I've been doing it my whole life. So most times it's not gonna take me that long to review something. Something I can do while I'm drinking pop. I shouldn't be drinking. Go ahead.
Yeah, just leverage the community is what it comes down to. There's plenty of people out there more than willing to help. And if I don't know something, or somebody else doesn't know something, our networks are big enough to where we can refer you over to PBO or Josh, or there's numerous other people that are out in the community more than willing to help. Also, don't forget about the coffee with the Mafia as well. It's completely zero cost, one-on-ones. No limitations. Just go in, fill out what date and time works best for you, what you would like assistance with. Maybe that's, a mock interview or a resume review, or, you just have questions or otherwise. That's a really awesome resource there as well. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your guys' Friday. Have a great weekend. We'll catch you guys next week.
Chris.
See you. Yep.
Don't forget to play Cam's and B-Dub's role at the end, man. You can give them no
Maybe.
love.
Maybe.
I don't know if you remember. Shout out everybody. Have a good weekend. I interrupt Chris. My bad. We forgetting roles.
Oh, it's
I'm
all
out
good.
too.
Yeah, GRC Mafia. You guys have a great one.
Are you looking to break into GRC or cybersecurity or simply level up your career? Hi, I'm Brittany White, better known as B-Dubs. Discover insights and actionable advice at brittwhite.io, where I drop a GRC-related article every Monday morning with a video read-along from my YouTube channel. Visit brittwhite.io today to explore articles to empower your hacker mindset in GRC, and sign up for my free newsletter to receive them straight to your inbox. Are you worried about cyber threats but don't have an enterprise budget? I also work with small and medium-sized businesses, bringing them practical, affordable cybersecurity solutions so they can focus on and exceed in their mission. Visit meet.brittwhite.io today to learn more and schedule a free consultation.
Kia ora, friends, and welcome to Brews and Hacks, where cybersecurity meets approachability. I'm Ryan. I broke into cybersecurity about 4 years ago, and I am so excited to share all the things I learned along the way, as well as all the things I'm learning each and every day. On this channel, we'll be diving deep into the world of cybersecurity, exploring topics like penetration testing, threat intelligence, vulnerability management, and so much more. From tutorials and walkthroughs to analysis and insights, we'll be covering it all in a way that's easy to understand and engaging. My goal is to help build a culture of security awareness where everyone can feel empowered and confident in securing themselves and their organizations from cyber threats. I also homebrew beer. That's where the name came from. We're all about cybersecurity here on this channel, but if you are interested, I do have a bunch of recipes on my GitHub repo, so go check it out. Anywho, I try to upload a video on the 1st and 15th of each month. So until next time, here's to hoping that code input stays as sanitized as my homebrewing gear. Hack responsibly, my friends. Kia ora.